All right, Omar, it was just another Saturday night and another mystery unexpectedly solved. I am talking about a case we solved years ago. Do you remember the case of the Whispering Shadows? And I'm sure you remember how good that carnival was, too.
Oh, yes, I sure do. The caramel apples alone made the whole thing worth it, Luna. But seriously, who knew a walk home could turn into a full-blown ghostly encounter? Almost.
Almost being the operative word there, my friend. Remember how we were just strolling along, all happy with our popcorn and sugar rush?
Oh, I remember. The wind was doing its usual Saturday night bluster, making the old clock tower creak like something out of a horror movie, which in hindsight was excellent foreshadowing.
And then I stopped, right? Mid-step, my ears just perked up. I was like, "Do you hear that?"
And my immediate, highly logical response was, do I want to hear it? Because, when strange noises happen after dark, my brain immediately jumps to, is it a monster? Is it a ghost?
Always with the ghosts, Omar. But this was different. It wasn't just a creak or a distant siren. It was a whisper. And it was soft yet insistent, coming from that dark alley next to the clock tower.
Yeah, and I swear, the air just got colder. Like you could practically feel the spooky vibes radiating from that alley. My hands were already getting clammy, I'm not gonna lie.
Then it happened. That really specific whisper. Luna, Omar. It was so clear, so distinct. I gasped, didn't I?
You did. And I nearly dropped my caramel apple. Because that sounded exactly like our names. Like no ambiguity there. And that's when I knew. Ghosts. Definitely ghosts.
I mean, it did sound eerily like us. Like a distorted echo or someone trying to imitate us. But the fact that it called out both our names, that's what really piqued my interest. And, a little bit of fear.
More than a little bit for me. My heart was doing a drum solo in my chest. But then you, being the intrepid detective you are, started creeping towards it. And I, being your incredibly brave and slightly terrified sidekick, had to follow.
Someone had to investigate. It's our calling, Omar. We had our flashlights, trembling just a little, I'll admit.
Mine was doing a full-on rave light show, I think. The shadows in that alley were just dancing, twisting and stretching with the flickering streetlights. It was the perfect atmosphere for some spectral shenanigans.
And the whispering grew louder. It was getting more intense as we got closer. You could almost feel it vibrating in the air around us.
Right? My palms were sweating. I was picturing some ancient spirit, chained to the clock tower, just trying to communicate with us. Maybe it needed help. Or maybe it wanted to drag us into the netherworld. Typical ghost stuff.
But then, as we got right to the mouth of the alley, did you notice it? The tone shifted. It wasn't menacing anymore, it was playful.
Yeah, I did. I was so confused. It went from Luna, Omar, to more like giggles? Like tiny ethereal laughter. I actually asked, giggling shadows? Is that a thing?
And I said, not yet, but we might just invent it. Because that's when my detective brain really kicked in. Giggles don't usually accompany vengeful spirits, right? Unless it's a very specific, very niche type of ghost.
I was still thinking maybe it was a poltergeist, messing with us before it unleashed its full ghostly wrath. A classic horror movie trope. But you were already on to something else, I could tell.
Then came the fluttering sound, and honestly, that still made me jump. My heart still skipped a beat. A sudden movement in the shadows is always unsettling.
Totally. I probably let out a tiny yelp. And then, out of the deepest, darkest part of the alley, a cat. A small, black and white cat just leaping out like it owned the place.
And the whispering just stopped. Instantly. Like a switch had been flipped. That's when I knew the cat was involved. That and the fact it was carrying something shiny in its mouth.
I was still reeling from the sudden appearance of the cat. Like, wait, where'd that come from? But you were already dissecting the evidence. Suspicious, you whispered. Cats don't usually carry glitter?
Well, it looked like glitter at first, all shimmery in the faint streetlight. But as you knelt down, what did you see?
Popcorn. Our popcorn. From the bag I was carrying. That sneaky little feline had ripped a hole in the bottom of my carnival bag, I swear, and it was just casually walking off with our delicious buttery popcorn.
Which totally explained everything. The glitter was just salt and butter reflecting the light. And the whispering, the sound of it crunching the popcorn, combined with the wind and the way the shadows were dancing from the flickering lights, it all just twisted the sound into something spooky.
I shook my head in disbelief, Luna. Here I was, fully prepared to face a spectral entity, maybe even have a heart-to-heart with a lonely ghost, and it was just a thieving cat. A very clever, very snack-motivated cat.
Exactly. The mysterious whispering shadows were just a very sneaky cat playing in the light, enjoying a midnight snack heist. It's almost more charming than a ghost if you think about it.
It is. It really is. And the way it just pranced off, so proud of itself. We actually followed it, didn't we? Just to see where its little lair was.
We did. And it led us right behind the clock tower to a little stash of carnival prizes. Probably its ill-gotten gains from previous nights. It dropped our popcorn, gave us this really satisfied meow like, "Thanks for the snack, suckers," and then just disappeared into the night again.
That cat has a system, Luna. A full-on criminal enterprise involving popcorn and glitter. I'm impressed, honestly. A little annoyed about my popcorn, but impressed.
It was truly genius, and it really showed how easily our minds can play tricks on us. You know, we were already in a spooky atmosphere, late at night, and then we heard something unidentifiable. Our brains just filled in the blanks with the most dramatic, supernatural explanation.
Yeah, it's that jump from, "What's that noise?" to, "It's definitely a ghoul trying to steal my soul." My brain does that a lot. Yours goes, "What's that noise?" to, "Let's observe it scientifically and deduce the logical explanation."
Well, someone has to be the voice of reason, but I love that we still get drawn into these mini mysteries. It makes life so much more interesting than just walking home on a regular Saturday night.
Definitely. And it's always a good reminder that not every bump in the night is a terrifying apparition. Sometimes it's just a hungry cat, or a raccoon, or a particularly aggressive squirrel.
Right? So case solved. Shadows whisper only when you're paying too much attention to your imagination.
Or maybe when a clever cat is planning a midnight snack heist. I think that's the more accurate takeaway here. Always be suspicious of small, furry creatures in dark alleys.
Solid advice, Omar. Solid advice. Another mystery solved, and frankly, a more adorable culprit than I could have imagined.
Agreed. Now, about these caramel apples. I'm just going to hold mine a little tighter until we're safely indoors. No more midnight snack heists for tonight.
Smart move. This one's too precious to lose. But you know, it was a pretty cool adventure, all things considered. A little spooky, a little funny, and a lot memorable.
Absolutely. It's these kinds of nights that make life interesting, isn't it? The unexpected turns, the silly scares, and the satisfaction of figuring it all out.
Totally. And it reminds you to always keep an open mind, but also a healthy dose of skepticism. Not everything that goes bump in the night is a ghost, but it's always something.
And sometimes that something is way funnier than any ghost story. Who needs specters when you have highly intelligent, popcorn-stealing felines?
Couldn't agree more. So, another mystery solved.
And another story to tell. Join Luna and me next time for another curious adventure, where shadows giggle, donuts vanish, and every mystery is more fun than you imagine. Don't forget to share this podcast with your family and friends. Till then, stay safe and take care.